Hello, everybody, and welcome back just in time for our third segment of Frozen Frontier. So,
sorry.
All right.
So, now what?
Well, 2 weeks of downtime, so I assume that Yaramir has some spell learning, snow golem kind of stuff to do. But I think maybe we head south to the Temple of Nerul.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's our best lead right now. It's the only other hard lead we have on anything.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Aside from going to kill Frostbite or something, but if the giants couldn't do it, I've got a feeling it'd be a terrible idea for us to give it a shot.
There are two other dragons, the Squall and
Snowflake.
Yeah.
It's not their
Gale.
name. I like to think of Gale as the librarian dragon. She just kind of sits there and,
I still like Snowflake. That's a good dragon name.
Mm-hmm.
The temple's on the way to those other dragons, so it makes sense to do the temple first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right.
Cool. So we do our 2 weeks.
We've got 2 weeks. Yarmir, do you want to start me off with some spell learning and then scroll writing or whatever?
No. I want to get my Displacer Beast hide that we've bought.
Yes.
And I want to start working out the ritual I need to rip out a piece of my soul and bind it to this Ouija board. And then once I get that ritual perfected, I want to make myself a golem to ride around on, like Master Blast.
Okay.
But before I do any of that, I am slightly interested in the effect that these robes have. I noticed that one of the pockets has clay.
Yes.
So I just start pulling out clay.
There's a bunch of clay in there.
Is it possible for me to pull out all the clay, or is there just always
No,
clay?
it is a finite supply of clay.
About how much clay is it?
Give me just a moment. I'll give you a measurement.
Sure.
But it should be a significant amount of clay. I think it's... Let me double check. I don't want to have to retcon.
Okay. Because I'm probably just going to use it to make hands if I can. Mm-hmm. But if it was infinite clay, I was just going to pump out some clay here.
Each pocket that contains clay has a sixth of a cubic foot of clay.
A sixth of a cubic foot, and a cubic foot is not a ton. Okay.
A cubic foot's a lot. A cubic foot of water is 62 pounds.
Cubic foot's quite a bit. It's a foot on every side, so.
Yeah.
Sixth of a cubic foot of...
Hold on, let me get a measurement.
It's 3 rulers, right? Well, 1 ruler on each side.
Bulk density about 1.33, so it should be a little bit more than water. But it's over 6, because 6 of that
So
bulk.
it's about 10 pounds of clay, probably closer to 12 pounds of clay. I think you have 2 pockets with clay in them, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Yes.
think so, yes.
Yeah. So you have 25 pounds of clay.
Okay, wow.
Mark it.
You can't just mark a sixth of a foot by a sixth of a foot by a sixth of a foot, though.
I'm just trying to get a feel for how much clay, in a ball, that is. It's not that much, right?
It's 25 pounds. That's quite a bit.
I don't feel like it's that heavy. If it's a cubic foot, I don't know.
A cubic foot of water is 62 pounds. Clay's a little bit heavier than water.
Is clay heavier than water? I feel like that's probably
1.33 compared to 1.
Yeah, so 30% heavier.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really dense. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll put the clay back. I was going to enlarge it for use of golem, but I don't think even enlarged it's enough clay. I think it's kind of a piddly amount unless you're making little hands, and then it's endless.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I had kind of discussed this before, but now we have a weird problem because I feel like I've been possessed by a lot of spirits. And I don't really want to bind a spirit to this that I don't know. I would like to bind mine. My intention was to use like the runes for displaced self on myself to try to like separate my spirit from my body and then cut a piece of it off using the knife that Grimes has, and then bind it using the runes of Silmarillion, I don't think so, whatever it is, to the Ouija board. But now I think I need a way to like expel all the spirits, at least temporarily, or maybe I don't know, maybe I can just like project them out. I'm not really sure how to go about doing that. But I think I need to practice, right? So I think basically I'm spending a week making the preparations needed to like try to make this work. Grinding up my displacer beast hide. I've experimented thoroughly with the binding spells. I'm pretty good at getting things bound. So I think what I wanted to do was create a pocket in the stone board with a binding spell, and use a similar thing, like half on that, half on me, half displaced, to kind of form a link. And then maybe even like use the extra bucket I have. I could cut off a piece of my soul and keep it in the bucket the way I keep the element, and then pour it there. But I think I need a way to find me instead of like all these like crazy people. So I think I spend like a week in research with the Displacer Beast hide, trying to like find a way to get myself like displaced enough to do this, instead of like grabbing some long dead ancestor who may or may not be what I want in there.
Okay.
So you're borrowing the phase dagger to do this, right?
Eventually I'll want it, yeah.
So, okay. But that's how you cut off pieces of your soul or something?
That was my plan.
Yeah. Okay, this has not canon yet.
Well, Neal and I had discussed it before we decided to wait like 9 months for the stuff to come.
Cool. Well, just let Grimes know when you need to borrow the dagger, I guess.
Sure.
So you experiment trying to separate the spirits that are haunting you or within you or whatever from yourself. Do you have any thoughts on how that experimentation might go?
I don't know. I've never been possessed by a spirit before.
Has anyone in chat been possessed before and can
tell
help
us
out?
Yeah, Van Helsing got possessed. He had to use I think it was dictation to get rid of the spirit.
I don't necessarily need to expel them forever. I just need a way to separate them, right? Mm-hmm. I think I will probably attempt to use some form of Ferris's symbology, the ones that are related to ancestry. Maybe I will cut my hand and in my own blood trace out a symbol of sealing around the symbol of ancestry, and try to like bind my ancestors for the purposes of the ritual, so that I can bind them to a spot and then step away from them.
Sure, give me a spell learning check to try this thing, and we'll see what happens.
It's a 64 out of 100.
What is your success?
My spell learning is a 70% chance, or 85 for geometry.
Yeah, so you manage to use these symbols and the power of your own blood to draw out the spirits from within your body and put them in a temporary holding place. Except that when they start to draw out, you feel yourself getting weaker and weaker and weaker until you just fall unconscious on the ground.
Oh, okay. I can't go back to where I was before.
Who knows?
It takes me past my middle age.
Yeah, you fall unconscious. I think someone probably comes and like knocks on the door when they haven't seen you for a while, and there's like unconscious Yaramir with a knife in one hand and like blood dripping from his arm in the other.
Was that with the phase dagger?
Yeah.
So I think you asked to borrow. Maybe Grimes comes in. It's like, Yaramir, it's been a couple hours. Are you done with that knife yet?
And there he is on the floor, bleeding from one hand.
Dear God, William, help! And I don't know if it's William that I find first, but I go.
So
I go screaming, and then I rush to Yaramir's side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Try to like stop the bleeding. Does it look like?
You get to it, and it doesn't actually look like the bleeding's that bad. It's a really minor cut, but why else does he pass out on the floor with the bleeding and the knife? And it'll take a full night for him to come back to consciousness. So you're out hard for maybe 12 hours, 16 hours.
Okay. That sucks. So I need to refine that, I guess.
Why don't you think, and we'll just go and see if anyone else has any other actions. William, anything you want to
do? No, nothing specific, I think.
Ferris? Anything you want to do?
Just working on the armor, swapping some. I think Ferris is also learning a little bit from this guy because he is largely self-taught with leatherworking.
And this
guy's
been
probably helping him, formalize his technique.
He grew up doing this, handed down from his parents to him, and or her parents. I don't actually remember who the leatherworker is.
Roll that d20.
A good DM would know who all of his NPCs are.
Yep.
A great DM doesn't bother learning.
Yeah. There are no good DMs in this call.
Right. Just fantastic DMs who...
Fantastic as in they don't exist?
Yes. Thank you. You're all so sweet. Carpenter, Kennel Master. Where the fuck is Leatherworker?
Any more surprise engineers in the
Maybe. I guess you have someone somewhere, but I can't find a Leatherworker.
I don't think I wrote his name down. If he ever had a name, that is.
It was the dwarf, right? Or was the dwarf the Kennel Master?
Dwarf was the Kennel Master, I think.
Yeah, the dwarf was Kennel Master. We've never found out any personal details about this leatherworker.
And there's a carpenter too.
The dwarf was the
carpenter we know.
Yeah, no,
Max is the Kennel Master. Wilhelm the dwarf is the carpenter.
Oh, that might make
That is.
I know we met the dwarf, or I know we don't have any details about the leatherworker yet. We've never gotten them in games. He might not even have them written down. I don't know.
Sure.
Because the leatherworker just showed up on the boat like yesterday.
Oh, he just arrived? Okay, cool. So we don't actually know who the leatherworker is at all. Fantastic. The leatherworker is not a he. The leatherworker is a she. And an older lady, maybe in her early 60s or so, has been brought for this. And her name is Brunhilde.
Ah.
Brunhilde.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a nickname that you prefer for short?
Hilda? Bruni?
Hilda, if you can't say Brunhilde.
I mean, I can. I'm just wondering if you prefer anything else.
Do you prefer something other than half elf?
Ferris, that would be my name.
Is there something shorter? Can I just call you Fair?
I am rather fair. I would not object.
Forrest, if she wanted to be called something else, she wouldn't have introduced herself as Brunhilde, would she?
Quiet, William. Go back to your work. We're bonding here.
All right.
All right, so let's head back to Yarmir. Thoughts?
Well, the armor is unconscious. I think he wakes up to at least Grimes waiting by his bedside.
Tending to him.
I don't know if anyone else is around.
The medic will be there.
Okay.
That is going to be Elizabeth.
Hello, Grimes.
What the hell were you thinking?
I
to kill
tried to
yourself.
pull the spirits possessing me out of my body. It seems I was successful, but went a little unconscious.
Yaramir, is there anything you need to talk about?
Oh no! When the ghost aged me, Ferris did magic ritual, and he called my ancestors, and then they possessed me in the night. Now my body works really well, but apparently I cannot get at my soul very easily. It seems that if I pull out the ancestors, I am very weak.
Are you all right, Yaramir? Perhaps you've been too long in this wasteland. Need some sunshine?
Sunshine wouldn't help. Are spirits weak to sunshine? Maybe I do not want to be in the sunshine.
Have you been
Crawler.
Have you been feeling sluggish lately? Trouble sleeping or eating? Perhaps
Oh no!
sleeping too
Ever
much?
since the spirits have possessed me, I have been quite healthy.
Have you lost interest in activities that you've long held dear? Yaramir, you might be depressed.
I think if there was a time I was depressed, it would be long ago.
I think maybe it's best if I keep these sharp objects away from you for a little while.
Well, that's fine. I will need that dagger when I'm done with my research, though. I'm going to
We'll talk about it.
put part of my soul in the board I've been working on for Amelie, so it will answer questions for her. She was lonely.
Well, glad to see you're making a recovery. If you ever need to talk, I'm sure William would be happy to hear it. See you
I
later,
don't think
Yaramir.
so. William and I don't have great relationship.
I am wounded. All the pine needle tea. Wasted.
He does make a good cup of tea, though. His disembodied voice has reminded me of the wonderful tea.
Aren't only like some pine needles safe to use for tea making? Has he ever fed us like poisoned pine needles?
I don't know enough about this mythical pine needle tea to comment
Pine needle
on
tea's a
this.
real thing. It's a real thing.
Let me butt in here. I've been reading about pine needle tea, and it's actually got a lot of vitamin C in it. So that could have been how we've been warding off the scurvy.
Ah.
Yeah, but it is also like there's a bunch of poisonous varieties of pine trees.
They only have the scurvy-ridding pine trees in Caledonia, unfortunately.
Yaramir's a herbalist. I'm sure he knows how to prepare the tea to boil out the toxins or whatever.
That's probably right. I've probably been making like really shit tea. And Yaramir knows how to make it properly, but he's too polite to.
Oh, it's been
Correct.
William making the tea?
Yeah, it has been, yeah. Yeah. I tell stories of my heroism in the downtime to the gods.
So, Yarmir, you eventually come to, you're rested, you have some more time to practice on this. I think it's been a few days since you've sat down and tried to figure this out.
Okay, so if I can't draw the spirits out of me, I need to like isolate my own soul, I guess. So maybe I could do something similar, but instead of putting the ancestral mark in the ceiling, maybe I can scrawl like my own name or like a symbol for self. Maybe there's like an old common or old Caledonian symbol for like the ego or yourself. And I can seal that and step away from it and then operate my body with the souls of my ancestors.
Sure, that
It's
sounds
very
good.
metaphysical and weird. This made way more sense before I got possessed.
All right, so you're going to try and use a symbol for self or ego to just
I want to
extract
find my
your
ego
soul?
or myself. To draw
And
it out. So then I can like cut pieces out of it and bind it to the Ouija board so that it can answer the questions. Like it can be an actual working haunted Ouija board.
Fantastic.
This is a very important D&D thing I'm doing.
Why don't you give me another spell learning check once per day until you can figure out the exact process? Just a matter of time. There you
That's
go.
a 28.
So you use the symbol for ego specifically to draw out your own segment of soul and split it separately to be able to play with it, to extract the essence of Yaromir and not these other ancestors around.
All right.
You borrow Grimes' knife to do it again, and you pull out the self. And what vessel are you holding it in?
Well, I have a couple of options. I could try to just bind it directly to the stone tablet that I've been working on, but I also have that second barrel that I've been waiting to seal elemental in. So maybe I could just seal the pieces of my soul in that and then transfer them to the thing after.
Sure. That sounds like the right way to do it.
Okay.
So you rip your soul from your body and put it in a barrel. But the barrel is empty. You try and extract the section of yourself, and you're pretty sure it works. It worked, 28 out of 70 is a wild success. And yet, when you go to interact with it a second time, there is nothing there.
Okay. Well, that's fun. Well, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there, but it is a success. It's as if there is no self or there is no ego.
We're getting
Yaromir
really...
no longer exists. He is nothing but the spirits of his ancestors. I don't know. I don't know how to interact with nothing. Nothing is kind of hard to interact with. I guess the next step I would take is I don't know. You can't. If I do this and there's nothing there, then there's nothing there, right? There's no magic. There's no soul. There's no anything. Then you can't interact with nothing. Nothing is the absence of things to do.
Why don't you enlighten us to what you're thinking all of this is?
I really just want to age myself down and put that energy into the thing. I don't know. I guess Yaromir has no soul, and he needs to reflect on the nature of that for a long time.
Okay. That's a few days of working. Did you have anything else you wanted to do, or are you just sitting and reflecting on your soulless self?
I don't know. I could bind one of my ancestors to this, but that seems like a fate they don't want. I don't know. This was a lot easier before I had no soul. I don't know. Screw it, I guess. This is just wasting everyone's time and no one's happy with it, so we'll just drop it and I'll go make a golem sometime later.
Okay. So Ouija board and golem are both being tabled for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
All right. Then I guess it's just downtime while Ferris teaches. Did you have something, Ferris?
Yeah. So you relayed to Ferris at least about your ancestor experience, right? Because you were talking about...
Oh yeah, I told you I got possessed.
Yaromir, did you ever consider that your ancestors may have come from Caledonia?
That seems very unlikely. I was born in Matava.
Would it explain why certain things only seem to react to you?
It would.
It would explain why the golem thinks you're its master, even though you're not. It would explain why people thought you were the princess, even though you're not.
It would.
Just a thought.
I mean, I appreciate the thought. I don't know what to make of it, right? Like,
I don't either.
if an ancient family member was Caledonian, would that not make many people from the mainland possibly the princess, right? Like, we know there was trade between the country. For all we know, William could be distantly related to a Caledonian, right? We're talking about a country that traded prominently with our own country for thousands of years before the breaking of the world, right? Like, I'm sure many people have Caledonian blood. I don't know specifically what I can do with that information.
Then perhaps you were just a magnet for lost souls, related or not.
That's very well could be. I don't know.
I don't know. Just a thought I was having when I was bathing this morning. This mask makes it very hard to bathe.
I bet it does. Tell me, does the water fear you?
You know, I think I've become more hydrophobic now that you mention it.
It's only a shame the dad doesn't.
Oh, don't spoil the mood now, William. But yeah, I guess we just stick around for a couple of weeks.
All right. We pass a couple of weeks while Ferris and Brunhilde talk about leatherworking. All right, it has been 2 weeks. It is now May the 8th, and I will need to roll weather.
All right, let's gather our supplies. Same amount of wooden food as last time. Greg, Sean, do we know how much that is?
Last time I think I
the
did
same amount we had last time. We had 700 pounds last time.
Yeah, I think it was like 400, 300, or 500, 200. I don't know. Something
No, we had 700 pounds of food and 200 pounds of firewood. That's what we had.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's what we're doing. Great. It's just been a lot better since we've agreed to just take the same amount every time.
Yeah, that and having the portable hole makes it a lot easier too.
Yeah, that is true. All right, so let's prepare to head out. Any final duties to be done in camp?
No, but I've been thinking when we come back, we might have some new armor for us, William. Do you think it might be the kind of thing that could help dissipate the frost breath of a dragon?
I shrug. Perhaps.
Yarmir, do you have any cold attacks? Can you like blast him with frost?
No, but I could perhaps create a shield that reflects elemental damage of both fire and cold, or either fire or cold.
Oh, well, that could be useful too. I was wondering if William's armor would have that property inherently.
It is incredibly warm. I'll tell you
That's what
that.
I was thinking. I mean, I imagine Sleet would have had some amount of imperviousness to his own ability to breathe frost. Perhaps now that you're wearing his skin, it's relayed some of that protection to you?
Any protection he had from cold, is it a magical nature due to the creature itself, or just to do the physical nature of its scales?
Well, whichever it is, do you think it would have carried over into the armor?
I shrug. Like, maybe.
It's worth a shot. I think either way, if we're going to be fighting any dragons, we should wait until we have a full array of dragon scale armor.
I agree. I don't think we'll be fighting any dragons this trip.
That's what I was getting at, essentially. Because I know that this way leads toward, was it Gale or Snowflake?
Yeah, it's they're on them. Both of them are in more or less the same place. I think the Grimes said, the giant said. But they have some temple up there in the mountains or something, and there's maybe a crypt that they're too large to explore themselves. So
right. So yeah, let's go explore.
More likely to be fighting more undead, I believe.
Wonderful.
Oh, before we leave, we always find need for some obscure item that we don't have, and then Yaramir says, "Oh, but I bought one of them." So, is there any obscure items that we need to take with us that we have?
What do you want? Like, I have all kinds of shit.
Bring me the list.
All right, I have a large fur tent, a large cloth tent, a winter blanket, ceramic bottles, caltrops, canvas, light chain, climbing crampons, climbing. I got a compass, an extra. I got a cooking pot extra. I got crowbars. I got fishing nets. I got grappling hooks. I got hammers. I got an extra horn. I got ladders. I have extra lanterns. I have med kits. I have tons of lamp oil, like 84 pints.
I think it's really important. Hold on, I hate to interrupt you, Armor, but we need to go back. It's really important that you have multiple ladders. It's not like there's one. There are five 10-foot ladders.
I have 5 10-foot ladders. We might have needed to climb something.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
I have extra pickaxes. I have extra quivers. I have 205 feet of silk rope and 300 feet of just normal ass hemp rope.
Okay.
I have 2 bone saws. I have 5 wood saws. I have 5 shovels.
Yarmir is going over the inventory list, and Ferris just starts walking into our supply room and taking. He's going to put a ladder on the sled. I'm going to put a ladder on there. I'm going to put about 100 feet of silk rope on there. I'm going to put a crowbar on there. Can you add these, Greg? I can't add our
yeah,
sled.
I'll do it. So 100 feet of silk rope, 1 ladder.
Yeah, let's do 2 ladders. Why not?
2 ladders.
Just in case.
And let's do like 2
crowbar.
crowbars. They're basically nothing in terms of weight, so we can do a couple of them.
Thank
So
you.
crowbar, rope, ladder. What else?
What else? Oh, okay. I wish I had the list.
Extra oil.
Yeah, I might as well just take it.
Yeah, how many pints of extra oil would you like?
10?
Ask
pints?
William. He's the one who carries the lantern.
No, Grimes carries it now.
I mean, we're on a holy quest to bring fire to the land, right? All the oil.
I don't think he meant that quite so literally.
You don't know what you meant, Forrest.
I don't know. I don't know
Ferris
what
makes a face that you can't see under his mask.
That's true. It must be really weird talking to Forrest now because there's no like facial expression.
None whatsoever.
Except for like raw terror every time you look into his flaming eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that'd be like really surreal to meet someone like that, right?
Did we not want to identify that? Are we just we want plausible
That's something I
deniability?
could have done this week.
Oh, we didn't know we
Roll,
just gave Ferris's soul over to some demon lich. So
I had another idea just pop up too.
Right.
Then I think, well, if Yarmir's going to identify the mask, Ferris will probably talk about it.
I'll only do it if you want me to. I'm not real concerned about it, but
I'm not worried about it, but if they're like, Ferris, you should get that identified so we know you're not losing your soul to a demon, he'll be like, fine, Mom, and he'll tell you.
I don't think Grimes would have the words to bring that up in character. That was an out of character question.
Mhm.
I don't know if Ferris would bring it up, but if the others want him to, he'll do it.
I think we just try and ignore it. Unless Yarmir knows a way to get it off your face, then
I would have to identify it, and even then, I don't know, because
remove curse cast on Ferris should
remove curse
allow
and
us.
dispel magic both failed. So
I think you remove
You
curse
remove
on the
curse.
item, though.
yeah, but
No,
he's-
you remove curse on the
The
character,
person who is cursed, yeah.
which we haven't tried.
Yeah, that's the only distinction.
But I don't think Ferris wants it gone.
I mean, it'd be kind of nice to be able to take it off, but as a player, I don't really care that much. I think Ferris might like to be able to take it off, but as a player, it doesn't make much difference to me. If Ferris is just a scary guy who no one wants to talk to, I can work with that.
all right. Well, we didn't do it, so I think maybe we could do it next time.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, Ferris was probably busy during the 2 weeks anyways.
So it is time to journey. Where is your destination?
So I think we just follow the river all the way south.
Yeah.
Side.
Wait.
So cross over first. So
Oh, yeah.
like
I guess we can just
right?
follow the trees. Yeah, we can just take a straight shot if we have Yarmir.
Okay. Yeah. If you know the way, then we can
Yeah,
do
because
that.
Yarmir's got direction sense, so he can keep us on track.
I have a compass. I have direction sense. I
And a
can
map.
read it anywhere. And
So
a
yeah, we're
map.
just gonna take a straight shot toward the south end of the river where we can wrap around.
All right.
Great.
Well, it starts off as a moderate day, so give you some
Alright.
moderate movements.
6 plus 3 times 1.5. 13 and a half miles.
Ooh, the wind is at your back. It takes a little while to cross the river, and then it is 13 and a half miles of pure progress that day. You end up right around here.
Yeah.
And can
Is
I
that-
get perception checks from the party?
Do I get... Oh, yeah, I get a bonus for having a spyglass, right? You said it was advantage last time?
Yeah, advantage.
D1 plus 14. 22.
Sure enough, both Yaromir and Ferris, as you guys are beginning to make camp, look off towards the woods, and the both of you do spot movement within the trees, near the base of the trees.
I think it's those gnolls again.
With that
Yeah.
magnification, can I make out what it is at all?
It's definitely gnolls. Not the greater gnolls, but the first type of gnoll that you saw near the tip of the continent.
Up north, right?
Yeah. The regular, normal, like 6.5
So
foot
the
gnoll.
greater gnolls were in the place that is now north of us, but was south before. the
Right.
middle section.
Right.
Okay. These are the first gnolls we've encountered this far south, right?
We've seen them here before, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They must live in these trees.
Faris, can I use the spyglass a second?
Sure. First, I'll toss it over to you.
I get a look at the gnolls, and then I want to. I'll take a few steps forward, and then like wave my sword in the air at the gnoll.
You probably burn your eye with the hourglass after Ferris had like his flaming eye like right pressed up against it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
How
Or
far
hour-
out can we see the
spyglass.
gnolls?
You can
Or
see the
can we-
gnolls.
Or
Yeah.
can I even see them if I failed that perception check?
You don't notice them, but once they're pointed out and spyglass gets passed around, you can get a good look at them.
Yeah. What's our distance?
Your distance is 2 miles.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
wave at them with the sword.
It is done. There's
Yeah,
no immediate reaction, but I mean, you guys are 2 miles away from them, and they don't have a spyglass, so
Yeah, sure. All right, well, forget it then. I was hoping to parlay with them, but if they're that far out, we can just ignore them.
all right. That's the end of that day.
So the gnolls, retreat into the trees when they saw us?
No, they were in the trees when you were first spotted them, and they don't venture out.
This is with the flaming sword that you were doing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was, I mean, looking at them, it looked like they noticed and just didn't react.
Yes, they
Okay.
were definitely looking your direction, but they never ventured from the trees in your
makes sense.
pathway. Yeah.
Okay.
Next day is a calm day. The winds dropped to nothing, and it's still. Snow is hard packed and icy.
Nice.
Great for sledding over. And you make some good distances. 16.5 miles.
Can you believe we used to travel at like, what was it? D6 divided by 2 or something? We were doing like 3 or 4 miles a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same rolls, but without the 50% buff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, with some penalties because you were encumbered, I think.
Yeah. We went from encumbrance to bonus.
We were always encumbered, weren't we? Yeah.
Well, you were second level back then.
Yeah.
It is a very quiet day. You know, the calmness in the air is reflected by the calmness of everything else around you. You don't spot any creatures or any movement other than your dogs, yourselves, and Nimrod, who is also oddly quiet and still, sitting on the sled, just watching. No yips, no weird noises. We go to the next day, which is moderate again, as the winds pick up and whip around.
7.5.
Seven and a half. There. Yeah. Still no sign of life on this day. Next day is a light day.
Okay. Light. 8, 6. 10.5.
Unfortunate. What little wind there is blowing directly north, and you find yourself just struggling to make any movement over the really, really icy ground. You know, the dogs pull forward, and the sled just wants to get pushed back by its profile. Still no creatures spotted whatsoever. The next day is calm.
6 plus 6. 16.5 miles.
All right. So this might get us to the base of the mountains. Oh, no. No,
Yeah,
idea.
it'll get us like to the end of the river, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I get perception checks across the board?
Can I use the perception I just rolled in chat?
No.
34.
Oh.
Holy
Nice.
shit! So that morning, as you're breaking camp,
How did I
And-
roll a 31 and end up third? Screw you guys.
as you break camp that morning, Nimrod kind of pokes his head up, like as if there's something odd. And looking about, you see a small line of kobolds in the snow, making their way towards you.
Can you
from
smell
the
them,
east. He nods.
Which pack are they from?
Cave homes.
Cave homes. Friends?
He gives a half-hearted shrug. Only meet one time. Have a
And you can
particular
still
smell.
remember their smell?
All kobold, unique smell.
All right, to Marshall, I say, these are the apparently are cave home kobolds.
Take
No,
Take our
no,
Kobold.
diggers. Diggers?
Cave diggers?
No, digger.
Maybe
Grimes.
maybe just digger. Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Cave home, no, digger. I don't know.
Grimes, tell her to shut up, please. We're trying to talk.
Stop yipping.
Take the Nimrod, is it? Go out there and meet them. See what they want, and then
Do we really
Bring
need to
that.
meet with these kobolds?
they have local knowledge. Bring whoever leads them to talk with us, with me.
Aren't they walking towards us?
I'd rather you meet them in the field,
We'll
so to
speed
speak.
ahead. I get my skis on if they're not already. Pick up Nimrod and ski forward.
In your arms.
Yeah, or like put him on my shoulders. Will he
Sure.
like grab onto my back?
Yeah, he can ride your back. You
Do we
guys,
have extra ultra spears after I sacrificed mine to the Great
if
Bellum?
they're on your character sheet, then
They're
you
not.
have
That's
them.
what I'm asking. Are there
Then
ultra
no.
spears on the cart?
We didn't load any on the cart,
Okay.
which is a shame because I actually wanted to bring some. I forgot about those. I want to do some spear fishing.
As
I was
Grimes
using this
skis off,
tent poles. But yeah, I ski off.
I say to Faris, "Do you think they could all kill him?
No.
How many of them are there? No, he's probably fine, right?
I think a worst case scenario, Grimes would just ski back slightly wounded.
Excuse
Would
me.
be,
A level 7 rogue could take down 8 kobolds.
Oh, it's only 8. Okay.
Right? I heard 8.
Worst case
I
scenario,
didn't
I think
say.
if I
You didn't say.
kobolds are weak of heart. I think if I walked up to them and showed my face, they'd all flee and tear. I'm not too worried about them. Also, William, you're speaking, but no words are coming out of your mouth.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go. That's
You're right.
that's better.
All right.
I know.
All right. You
So I ski some hundreds of yards or whatever in front of the party and
Yep.
meet kobolds.
you run into this patrol of 6 kobolds. Initially, they begin to break and run as you ski towards them, but one of them yips out something that you can't make out over the wind, and they stop and look towards you. And then
Shall
as
we
you
change the music from
Yes.
Yaromir's theme?
yes, and as you get closer, they begin to break out in cheering and like applause.
Thank you. Thank you. The big dog returns. Have we met these kobolds before? I asked Nimrod.
He shakes his head.
Okay. So I
don't know.
ski up to the clapping band of kobolds.
They're hooting and hollering and jeering and applauding and having just like they're really happy.
Oh, look at these good boys.
One of them immediately looks to Nimrod and says, "Who's your slave?" And Nimrod proudly goes, "This grimy."
Excuse me, I know what you're saying.
Oh, slave speak. Oh.
You've got it all mixed up. This.
They come over and immediately begin surrounding you and sniffing you and Nimrod, who proudly sits on your shoulders.
Back, get. Who's in charge here? Can I see a bigger kobold that looks like he's calling the shots? Or I asked that.
They
as
point to Nimrod.
I thought you said these were cave diggers.
Just regular diggers. And the other one goes, "No. Oh, yes, we diggers. Yes. Not cave digger."
How come
and then
you're-
one of them takes the blunt end of the spear back in the spear and kind of whaps you on the thigh and says, "Quiet,
There's no-
servant."
There's no spear.
They're spears. They're armed.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly. I don't know. I think for now I just keep it. Hey. Wait, what do you mean you're in charge, Nimrod?
He shrugs. I don't know. I think
Who's pack leader of the diggers? I say to the kobolds before me.
let me see. Yeah, I think they're working out that maybe you're not Nimrod's slave, actually. And their cheering and applauding quickly dies down. One of them tentatively sort of looks at you and go, I dog.
You top dog?
No, just
Just a dog? Just a regular sized dog? Jesus.
who you? What you do?
I'm Grimes. I'm a human. We're exploring this continent for the great princess of Solwick.
Uh-huh.
Where we are dragon slayers. Kill big fish. I think by now maybe the party's like pulling in closer. I can see.
Ferris is trailing a ways back so that they don't all flee in terror from him.
No, I think I'm waiting to
Perhaps you have.
be brought to us.
Perhaps you have heard tale of us.
They nod. Yeah. Big fish
Good.
gone. One big fish gone. Did
So
you
wh-
kill other big fish?
oh,
Bigger
yeah.
fish?
All the fishes.
Soon?
I shrug. In time. Where do you dig?
In the ground.
Which background? I point like southwest. Not that away.
They shake and point due west to the forest near you.
Hopefully by now the party's pulling up behind us.
If you not servant, why he on your shoulders?
Because he's too slow to keep up. I like point to my skis.
This seems to befuddle and confuse them, as if the two concepts are somehow innately at odds with each other.
Should I be riding him?
Nods all around. Yes, definitely.
All right, so eventually, I was going to wait for Grimes to bring the kobolds to us, but seeing him surrounded by
Yeah.
the kobolds.
Yeah,
will
I don't think I
move.
did. I didn't guess. I assumed you would keep moving.
The party catches up with you guys.
Yeah.
Grimes, this isn't a mother's meeting. What's going on?
Some translation issues. So these kobolds seem to reside in the forest west of here. Is
Very
there any
well.
information you'd like me to gather?
Just if they know the location of any human settlements or anything like that. If not, we can move on.
I will have introduced William as he pulled up. Like this is Captain Marshall. Big dog.
Give them a nod.
Oh, top dog.
Top dog. Toppest.
Oh. Why he not ride on your shoulders?
See, human packs are very large, and if we stacked us all on top of our shoulders, why, the queen would be a mile high. It's simply impractical.
They all look up to the sky.
And a big pack. So,
Okay.
anyways, is there anything of interest around here? Old ruins? Do you know what a ruin is? Broken houses, stone and wood left behind by the horse riders of old.
Bad homes, yeah.
Sure. Are there any bad homes?
Mm-hmm.
Where bad home?
Looks uncomfortable, but points southwest.
In the mountains? Mm-hmm. Sounds like there may be some ruins southwest, probably in the mountains. Or or near them.
unfurl the map. Could they
You know-
point them out?
Do you know how to read a map? We're here, and I like point. probably to the wrong place, and William like moves my finger.
They look at the map, not entirely understanding it right away, but after a few moments and maybe a little bit of explanation, their leader will sort it out and kind of figure out what the symbols mean. The others are still lost and puzzled by it.
You smart. I see why you dog.
Middle management.
Where does he point now? To us.
He, she, it. It's a kobold. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Points. Kind of scratches their head, a little confused because they've never seen the top-down view of the land before. But points to this area.
Okay.
Many bad homes. No go. They live there. No go.
They? Who are they? They look like I go to start to pointing at Ferris and realize he looks nothing like an elf. Pointy ears? No. Pointy ear, no fur?
No.
Little scrags? You know what a scrag is?
No. What's scrag?
Knolls? Big dogs?
No. Big ones live between river.
We've seen them. They... Well, yeah.
Small. Bigger kobold, smaller knoll.
Bigger kobolds, smaller no. Goblins? Orcs?
They just continue to shrug.
At some point I had a kobold to English dictionary, but I think it's probably way back in our chat logs.
Do we hear him say goblin and orc? Do you say that in common? Or is
I think I'll yeah, I probably do. I don't know that because there certainly aren't the kobold words for those things.
Green nofers?
No, it's big pigs or something.
we never didn't they kobolds by Fort Pass say something about something with wings, some sort of flying humanoid? Once upon a time. I remember it. We haven't run into them yet. Well, unless there's anything else to learn from these.
Don't go.
Why?
Bads live. No
Oh,
go.
wait. It's trying to talk to me, Grimes. What's it saying?
They're afraid of whatever lives in the ruins. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Sounds like maybe some kind of goblinoid.
Bads. Shh.
Bad bads. We're all bad bads.
What are they? What color are they?
Don't be racist, William.
Quiet elf.
I can't find my kobold translator.
I just PM'd
Oh,
it
here
to
we
you.
go. Oh, okay, cool.
Have you got like a translator for bad and stuff like that?
Yeah, a few of the things. Yeah, orcs are big pigs. That's for sure. Cool. Big foxes are elves. That's what it was.
Big foxes.
So the bad bads, are they big pigs or dogs? Or globs? Goblobs? None of these things? Sounds like nothing I've heard of.
Well, I can't be scarier than a dragon.
I guess not. Do we want a detour, or shall we continue on to the temple?
In lieu of more specific direction, I suggest we carry on to the temple.
All right.
I go and shake the paw of the main kobold.
It looks at your extended hand and sniffs it, and then gives it a big lick.
I reach into my bag and give it a tinderbox.
Pulls it out and is like, "Ooh, what is this?" and starts playing with it.
I've got 2 left. All right.
Okay.
Oh my god, we're gonna come back and someday our fort is gonna be burned down by all these different tribes that we've given tinder boxes to as they just set our stuff on fire with them.
Well, say what you will, but I'm bringing fire to the lands of Caledonia. I mean, this is what my holy quest was all about. Handing tinderboxes to the kobolds and stuff.
They
Okay.
play with the box for a while, and as you begin to set out, the leader goes back and tugs on Grimes a little bit and goes, "No go to bad bats."
We won't. We're heading to the giants. I point to the mountains that maybe we can.
Big ones.
Yeah.
It nods.
Big
Okay.
ones.
They nice.
Cool.
They ignore.
I love that we're teaching all of these little creatures here how to start fires. I think
Yeah.
it's our holy quest.
All right.
Maybe we can ask the giants what lives in this area.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay, you can continue your movement. You have 16 and a half miles, and that'll get you to here, the end of the river.
Hey.
Is there anything special at the end of the river? Like, is there a source of it? Or is this
No, it's just that the river becomes a little bit more icy, with like smaller or larger flows and smaller patches of ice, and then at some point it's just like snowy tundra, and the river probably continues under, or maybe forks, but it's just like frozen over at this point. It looks solid enough for you to walk across.
Let's not risk it.
Sure. But that is the end of the 12th of May. We go on to the 13th, which is also a light day, a calm day.
12 miles.
Sure.
We always get terrible movement rolls.
Where are you headed specifically?
Toward the mountains. I guess we're going to start
This way?
looking as we travel for a path into the mountains because we need to get to the top.
We need to get to the top, so this is Grimes' territory now.
Yeah. Grimes, you might want to do some advanced scouting. This is going a little bit slowly here. The dogs are getting stuck in the snow.
12 miles? That'll get us to the base of the mountain, won't it?
Yeah, but we need you to find a path that goes up because we're not going to be able to just, climb a sheer mountain.
I mean, I think we try. I mean, I guess we were looking for it. I think we should.
Yeah, I think Ferris is going
So I
to
guess we
recommend that
get
Grimes
there
scout
half
ahead.
of the day. Yeah, sure. And I'll ski ahead. I'm gonna flip a coin. We don't have any. I don't have any coins.
Roll
You don't have a
D2.
coin?
I mean, Grimes doesn't have any coins. I'll ask the party. Whether
Ask
we
William. He
Yeah.
carries money just in case.
scout the
I've got-
north
I've
side
got
of the
some gold,
mountain
yeah.
or head into this valley.
I'll lend you a coin, Grimes.
I don't actually need to flip it. You can lend your strategic. Like, where do we think the entrance to this temple is going to be? This way, or on the top of the north side of the mountain? Thinking maybe they said between the rivers, so I'll try north.
Most people lived in Conquest, right?
Good
So-
advice, Captain. And
Yeah.
I will ski off on this way, on the north side of the mountains.
Okay. Give me a perception check as you ski along the north side of the mountains.
RD 20 plus 14. 23. And then I can go ahead. What was the weather today? Was it calm?
Yeah, and you've used 7.5 out of 12.
Well, I was going to roll my skiing speed. I think it's going to be.
Sure.
on a
Go ahead
calm
and
day.
roll your ski movement, and then take 0.625 of that for what's available for you to be.
This is a calm day.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't. I can just do laps. 2d20 plus 60.
God damn.
0.65.
625
So I've
for
got-
sure. 50 miles. Yeah.
50.05
Yeah, I
miles.
have to unload my backpack onto the sled, but so I can spend an hour skiing along the tundra there. Yeah, so I can go all the way there and back, and maybe
You
even
could-
head south a bit. So I do a
Uh,
lap there, looking out for like any.
Yeah. You can scout out that entire section, and you see no caves, no markings, nothing that looks
I was
like it
more
could be
expecting a pass leading up to this temple on top of the.
no pass leading up to the temple, just empty, rugged mountain terrain.
Or any sign of where a giant might climb up.
Yeah, none of that.
I don't know what. I guess I didn't discuss this before leaving, but maybe it would have been a good idea if the party spent the rest of their movement heading south along. these
Yeah, I think
mountains.
we're going a different direction than Grimes.
Okay, and he'll just meet up with you because he's
Yeah,
got
so
some
we'll
movement to do that.
Yeah, so we'll meet up. Whatever.
So you have
however many
the
miles.
party can go 4.5 miles this way.
Okay.
So you get
Do
to
we see
about
anything
here.
as we travel?
Give me perception checks.
32.
21.
Yeah. Sure enough, you do spot it's maybe a cave or a tunnel, but it looks a lot more impressive than that. It's definitely like a curved entrance into a thing, but it's 12 feet high, 12 feet wide, maybe. And there
does
are
it look-
ruined statues that would be flanking the entrance.
Okay, does it look carved or natural, the entrance?
It definitely looks man-made.
Okay.
Does this look similar to that very first cave that we found on like the north part of the continent?
What was the very first cave?
Donar. I was just
Yes, it looks very much like that very first cave, Bocasa's lair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, this cave here, the giants probably don't take this route, right? Could be.
Might be worth checking.
Yeah, there could be stuff in here. Well, I guess we'll head in here tomorrow. Hopefully Grimes gets back tonight.
Sure. I think worst case scenario, Grimes might just have to climb these mountains on his own. We can wait down here for him.
This has got to.
If it's not a path up, we might have to resort to that.
If there's a temple on top of the mountain, surely the two are connected.
Possibly, unless the giants built it.
Built the temple?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
The last one had switchbacks leading up to it. Correct.
Yeah, that's true.
Any similar?
Yeah. I
No,
don't
this
think
one's at ground level. There's not even switchbacks that lead up to it.
Oh, the temple.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's a temple or not.
The passageway, right?
The passageway that you're
I
seeing.
thought I thought they told us that the temple was on top of the mountain when we talked to them.
That's a separate
They
thing.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's what you're talking about.
Okay.
They are separate, or not necessarily separate right now.
They mentioned a temple and a thing that they couldn't get into that they wanted you to take a look at.
Oh, so this is right. Okay.
Right.
I thought it was underneath the temple, like a crypt or something. Okay, well, I guess this is the place. The giant temple's on top of the mountain. We'll head in tomorrow.
Okay. Everyone beds down to sleep for that night. What is your
do you
order
want to
of
go in for the
watches?
night, William? Usually we do our spelunking during the nights. Remember?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. When Grimes skis up to the party, we could enter. We
Yeah,
probably
we can set up the tent for the dogs so that they have a
make a
warm
camp
place.
outside in the snow, like stop for dinner break, and then do some midnight spelunking.
Sounds good. All right.
We will spelunk on the other side of our break. See you guys soon.